How's it going?
It's going pretty well. You
Yeah,
know, it's just like everywhere on Earth. It's a little hotter than it should be.
it is. I couldn't agree with you more. It's a little warm here. We tell people it's hot here. Like, oh yeah, I remember I was there last year. It's like, no, it's actually a little hotter. It's a little hotter. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast again. We really appreciate it. Will let me get some of the paperwork out and do a little bit of announcing, and then we'll get right into it. Okay.
Sounds great.
All right, all right. So hi everyone. I want to welcome you to Shellcast, the podcast that is a beach break for your ears. I'm your host Jackie Parker, and I work for the Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau to promote Fort Myers Islands, beaches, and neighborhoods. Fort Myers is located in Southwest Florida. We're about 2 hours south of Tampa, and you can find out more about the Fort Myers area by visiting our website, visitfortmyers.com. So we're a little different. You can see us in person. This is the first time we've done our podcast this way. And we are so excited to kick off the preview to the 9th Island Hopper Songwriter Fest with special guest Kristian Bush. He is
Woo!
there he is right there. He's a multi-platinum, two-time Grammy Award winner who writes songs, musicals. He has his own podcast, 52 the podcast, and so much more. He is country music's renaissance man, and we are so honored to have him return to Shellcast as a guest. And Kristian is going to be the special guest of Chris Janson at the Pink Shell Pool Party on Sunday, October 1st, and that's at Fort Myers Beach. And the show starts at 6 p.m., and the tickets are available on the Island Hopper app. And we'll be talking a lot about that app as the podcast goes on. But there's just we've got so much new with Island Hopper this year. We've got again, it's the 9th Island Hopper, and we've got about 90 BMI songwriters who are going to be here, and we are adding. Let's see, it's September 22nd through October 1st. We've got Captiva Island from September 22nd to the 24th. Cape Coral is a new location for us this year. So we're going to be out at the Westin Cape Coral Resort at Marina Village from September 25th to the 26th. Then we will be in downtown Fort Myers with singer-songwriters September 27th and 28th. And then at Fort Myers Beach, wrapping up, saving the best for last, September 29th to October 1st. Okay, that was a lot to get through to get to you. So, how are you?
I am fantastic. I
Yeah,
mean, the world of music keeps weirdly smiling on me in new ways. So
yeah, yeah.
uh, it's not for the faint of heart as a job, but
Yeah.
as a as a human being, I've just walked my both of my children back into college,
Wow.
and whew, man, I mean, you talk about like lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing very well, actually. How have you
Yeah.
been doing?
Well, we're good. And hey, I just want to ask you, are you in Tennessee right now?
I am not. I'm actually in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Okay.
I live in both places,
Okay.
depending on what I'm doing any one single day.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. And we're doing fine. As a collective down here in Southwest Florida, we are making progress every day. Um, and we will talk about that, about how things are very different when you come down. And I don't know, have you been to the area since last year's Island Hopper?
I have not, and
Okay.
I really am interested to see, how everybody's doing, because it's like any other kind of thing that happens in life. Everyone wants to be there to help you in the first couple weeks, but when you really need the help is like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how everybody's doing, and to kind of revisit with everybody.
And and I actually think you know what you say is so true. And the timing of Island Hopper is very it's poetic in a lot of ways, and it is needed, because it is, after that first month, everybody has forgotten. I went home to Kentucky for Christmas, and everybody thought, oh yeah, everything's back together. It's like, no, not really. We still have holes in our walls, and if you go to the bathroom in our house, you can see the feet of people in the bathroom, and everything. And so it was, and it just takes time. But I think having Island Hopper coming up is just going to be this lift that the community needs. And I think you will inspire us, and I think the people here will inspire you as well. And you're not going to make me cry this time. You're not
Oh,
going
come on. In country music, we always have this saying. Well, I don't, but I learned it from a very wise woman. She said, Christian, don't worry about that. Money in country music is tears.
It
Tears
is.
are money. And I was like, oh, okay. So she's like, it's okay to feel. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Music can do things that sometimes other things just can't do. And one of the cool things about it, people don't talk about it a lot, but we all lean on it, whenever things get really, really challenging or bad in our lives, is music is this thing that it doesn't judge you. It just hangs out next to you. And
Yeah.
it's an addiction you can keep.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is, and it's yeah, and it's just how songs make you feel, how just the uplifting, and can make you sad and just so down one minute, and but then the next one, and you're out of it. So it is it's healing, it's therapeutic, cheaper than therapy in some ways, I guess. But yeah, it's good. So we met last year at Captiva and did the podcast outside at RC Otters. And Annie Rossi Lane is gonna look a little different to you. Mucky Duck is open, and you're gonna get that beach vibe out there. But there's a lot of places that are maybe the restaurants are closed, and they've opted for food trucks now, just to kind of keep things going, or limited menus. You'll see vegetation coming back and everything, but it'll be really it's going to be a real boost to the area to have you and all of your fellow singer-songwriters here. I just can't I can't tell you. I'm just getting excited just thinking about it, because it's it's the weather is great. It's hot. I'm looking out the window over here. And it's but it'll be fun, and it'll be a different kind of reunion. I know it's a reunion every year for the performers, but come back. But we got a lot of new ones this year too. But it will be I think the hugs will be a little tighter this year, Christian. So
I love it. I cannot wait to see everybody.
yeah. And so you've got some summer songs going. You've got very I was looking everywhere for a paper umbrella. I could not find one.
Oh, that's all right. Um, yeah, I've had a very interesting sort of, last couple of, I don't know, couple of years. Somewhere during the middle of COVID, I got asked to fill in for an artist that was canceling a show in Key West. And, I didn't ask much, because I'll do anything to help somebody out. And it was my agent that called. And so I said, sure, what do I need to do? And he's like, well, it's on your way to another show, but can you go in early to Key West and play this thing? And just, Christian, just make sure to play all those, the songs of yours that are kind of beachy. Would you mind playing those? And I was like, sure. That was the only instruction I got. And I rolled into the International Parrot Head Convention that gathers in Florida once a year from all around the world. And I was filling in for the Saturday night band, which was the Coral Reefer Band. And of course, they didn't tell me any of this. So I roll in, and I get 2 or 3 songs into my set, thinking, what am I doing here? And who are these people? And by about the 3rd song, I was a little concerned. They were so excited about my songs that they'd never heard until this moment, that they were going to carry me away on their shoulders.
He is
So
our new king. He is our new king.
yeah, it was really odd. It was like a weird, wonderful movie. And in those moments, I left that show and I turned to my brother who plays with me all the time. I said, Brandon, that just happened, right? We just like literally showed up and everyone was totally into what we were doing, but they didn't even know us. He's like, yeah, that just happened. It's like, all right, well, and he reminded me maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, hey man, that's not wrong. All these songs and this part of you that is maybe too groovy for country music or too happy for Americana or wherever it is that they try to put music these days. I have been lucky enough with the success of Sugarland to just continue to make music, regardless of how it fits anywhere in the world. And if you're in the job that I have, where music fits, one of the things you have to do is learn how to teach the people around you where to sell your stuff. It's just a normal thing. Like if you were a person that made pencils, you would sell pencils at the pencil shop or at the, back to school sales. Well, for music, they do a similar thing and it's very difficult. So typically you'll stop playing the songs that people don't know how to market. Even though the people in front of you that are listening to you are really loving it, you just don't know a good avenue. So by complete chance, I also embarked on this sort of birthday celebration last year of myself. I had turned 52 and I didn't realize who my peers were anymore. I said, well, who else is 52 in country music? And it turns out everybody lies about their age, right?
Yeah.
So or they don't lie about it, they just might not talk about it. And so I was asking myself, I was like, how old is Kenny? And how old is McGraw? And, he flips tires in the backyard while he's, playing shows and stuff. He's like really into all sorts of stuff. Incredible. And I just don't know how old people are. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to be however old I am because I had to skip all my birthdays in COVID, just like we all did. And so I decided to put out 52 songs on my 52nd birthday, which became 4 albums. So an album every 3 months I put out. It was a weird, I didn't realize the commitment I was making when I did it, but it turned out to be unbelievable amounts of fun and joy. So at the end of that, my brother was like, hey man, look, we've been putting out records every 3 months. You want to put another one out? And I was like, sure. And he was like, remember that parrot head thing we did? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you make a bunch of those? So that's what's just been released. And it's called Drink Happy Thoughts. And I would have done it a year ago, but I had this other thing. So if you are a fan of say, sitting on the back porch at a beach and just relaxing for a minute, and you need songs to accompany you that are new, they're not intended to do anything else except accompany you during that moment.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if the radio plays it, it's great. If it's somebody's favorite birthday song, it's great. But really, it's designed to just give you a smile while you're sitting there having your drink at the end of the day or whatever. So I think that's what you just mentioned, and that's how we got here.
Well, it sounds like a perfect fit for Island Hopper, don't you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, Island Hopper is such a great thing to say.
Well, okay. So do you want to play something for us? What are you thinking?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll play one. I'll play the title track here.
Yeah.
I got my son's dogs underneath my feet, so.
Oh. What's your dog's name?
Her name's Lily.
Lily. Hey Lily, thanks for being on Shellcast.
Yeah. He gave you one eye, went up.
Oh.
I joke. Last time I was at Island Hopper, there were these interviews that we were doing, and we're driving around on golf carts while we were doing them. And it was really,
with Shayna Brooke. Yeah.
And I still think maybe this was the trip where I saw this like as a bumper sticker on somebody else's golf cart, which, by the way, somebody else's golf cart is such a weird thing to say because
It is.
none of us play golf. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I saw this and I've seen it a couple of times since, and I thought to myself, that just makes me giggle. And so I decided to write a song around it because, you know, sometimes when people say things.
Yeah. Okay, Kristian, I'm going to turn my camera off and give you the full view.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
There you go. All right. Thank you.
So all my songs are wishes. And this is my wish for you right now. Take it easy. Go slow. There's no prize at the end of the road. The way you walk means more than where you're going. If you're lost, take a seat. This next round's on me. Life goes fast and you got no way of knowing. And if you believe that you are what you eat, then drink happy thoughts. Drink happy thoughts. It's simple. Once you get it, you only get out what you put in it. Some days will be hard pills to swallow. Don't forget the sun will come up tomorrow. And if you believe that you are what you eat, then drink happy thoughts. Drink happy thoughts. And up ahead might be trouble, heartbreak, struggle, and loss. Don't you know it's only life's puzzle with so many rivers to cross? And if you believe that you are what you eat, then drink happy thoughts. Drink happy thoughts. Drink happy thoughts.
Okay. Lily made me tear up this time, not you.
Come here, Lil.
Saw sweet little Lily's. Hi, Lil. Saw her tail started wagging. It was over there by their other guitar.
She likes it when I sing.
So sweet. Isn't it interesting how pets, when you sing, they like it?
Oh, I know. Well, the internet's a funny thing, but every once in a while, it'll serve you up something that gives you information that you didn't have. That's legitimate information, you know, not like I need to manipulate the information. And one of the studies that is fun to watch is they've put music through they've attached, you know, like vibration speakers to a plate. And they do this a lot in experiments. And they put sand on it and they just put like a note through it. And you see that the sand suddenly goes into a geometric pattern, right? Because of the note. And I sent it to my daughter. I said, this is why you like to go to shows so much, because you're made up of 80% water. And if you think that your body is going to react any different than this sand, you're wrong. So you feel sort of aligned when you hear music. It does something. It's a weird magic. I don't understand it, but I can tell you all about it because I guess I weirdly control it. You know, like some little, you know, kid could control air. But when you can control sound, it has the opportunity to change the way you feel without you having made that choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was I saw, and I feel like I'm obsessed about this all of a sudden, but when I saw Lily's tail, when you sang and if you believe you are what you eat. That did something to Lily. Lily was like, what?
Well,
And
there you
then I
go.
started seeing her, but you struck a chord, you struck a chord. And it's, like those minor keys always get me, and yeah, that that's the thing. Well, that's very interesting. I never thought about us, being water and the whole sand thing and the reaction, but yeah, you make
It's
you make a good point.
yeah, music's special, and it's why a lot of times, my brother is a songwriter as well, but he also is a composer, and we work together on a lot of musicals, we on different things, and he deals in the emotion of sound without lyric. And then, of course, when I add words to it, it's things you can grab onto that distract you a little bit or guide you towards what I want you to feel, right? But when you don't even have that as an option, different parts of music feel different. When
Yeah.
you play on a certain instrument or you play a certain chord, or they all have certain things to them that, as a songwriter, I almost take for granted.
Yeah.
That I see him use like a scalpel where I'm using a bludgeon. It's really fantastic. So I never doubt the weird magic that is music.
It is. It is. So what this is a podcast that is a preview to Island Hopper. And you've been to Island Hopper, so many times. Can you give the listeners, the viewers, we have viewers now, crazy. Um what why should people come to Island Hopper? Why should people repeat visit to Island Hopper? What's in it for them?
Sure. Well, it's kind of based on this idea that the structure of the music business right now, in order to come up in the world, we used to have to go play coffee houses or clubs, and then get in your car and drive to the next city and drive to the next city. And nowadays, in the last, say, 4 to 5 years, you can be playing in your living room and just broadcasting through the internet, and people will discover your music if they're looking. That would assume that they are plugged into the right places to be listening, B, that they are spending time online, C, that they're open to new music. And the thing that's important to remember is that never in your whole entire life have you ever turned on the radio and turned something up and said, "Hey man, check this out," to your friend next to you in the car and said, "This is my favorite singer." You've always said, "Hey, check this out. This is my favorite song." And that matters. And once you start to get that in your head, that it's the song that changes your life, right? Um, what you have is a collection of songwriters at different levels of their development. And I wouldn't say experience, I'd just say development, because everyone starts at their own starting line. And the finish line for each person is very, very different, And what you get is a series of shows that they're going to be completely unexpected. They are not scripted. A lot of times it's just a person and a guitar. And there's a percentage chance that also that person's going to play you a song, if maybe you're a country music fan, or a song that you don't know, after which you will say, "Dear Lord, that's my favorite song." And when you hear it happen from the creator who created it, it's a different emotional experience. So what Island Hopper is offering you is the value of a ticket, maybe, that you might go see a show or a movie that is completely unexpected and completely full of more value than you would have ever spent on the ticket. Let's say it's like I don't even know how much Island Hopper tickets are, but let's say they're $100 or something, right? You're going to get like $1,000 worth of like experience out of it, mainly because you don't really know who you're listening to. And then once you discover someone, I don't know if you remember when you heard a band that you loved for the first time. Usually it's around 17, 18 years old is when people first get their first band crush. Like that's not like when you were in middle school. Like there's no boy band or whatever. But this one is like the one that like, oh my gosh, they're singing to me because that's my life. How could that possibly be? So Island Hopper is offering this kind of experience at multiple places at one time. And if you will just trust the people who are programming it, you just have to trust them and say, wow, I'll read to see if there's anything here interesting. Or I would even encourage you to go to something that you're completely unfamiliar with and completely like, hey man, I just want to go enjoy a sandwich at this place while I listen to music. Like let it take you. People don't discover things much anymore, especially in music.
Yeah.
And you just need to let yourself go find that, because you never know, it could be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So that's why I like it.
Yeah, and it's very much, Island Hopper is very much an a la carte opportunity. You can pick and choose and discover and, and do, it's important, get out of your comfort zone a little bit and see, try something else on for size, because you just never know. And the other great thing about Island Hopper is it's 10 days and there are so many opportunities. People can come down and visit on, the Fort Myers Beach performances, or they can come for the weekend and spend, and see the shows on Captiva, or come stay, downtown Fort Myers and enjoy that part of it. So, or go over to Cape Coral and, stay over there or stay in Fort Myers and then go over to Cape Coral and see the shows. There's lots of different ways to slice up Island Hopper. You don't have to take the whole thing in. And just as clarify, our tickets are much less than $100. Just saying.
Well, I didn't really know.
I know. But then, and so much of Island Hopper is free, and the ticketed events are on the app, and you can buy those through the app as well. But yeah, and our website and the app also have all of the artists, and you can find out where they're performing, and what part of Southwest Florida that they're performing in, and see what fits, and see who you'd like to spend the evening with.
One of the real joys about all of this for me, having been an artist in many genres, but also a new artist still, even at this stage in my career, is that I get to discover music. And one of the most recent discoveries that I've had was actually an intern at our studio here in Atlanta. She didn't even tell us that she wrote and sang music. But after her internship was over, she approached us and said, hey, can I play you some songs? And her name is Megan Maroney. And she's now a giant country star, budding. Like, we just got nominated for a bunch of CMAs. And this time I'm nominated as a producer, which is crazy and fun. But
congratulations.
Just a year ago, she was playing all these songwriter shows.
Yeah.
So it is very possible that one of the things you might see when you go to Island Hopper is someone who's about to be like, it is absolutely possible. I am a testament to the fact that it can go from 0 to 100 very, very fast.
Yeah, it's a great place to see, up and comers, and see, folks who are, you were talking about in the development stage, the veterans of the business, really, and veterans of Island Hopper. It really runs the gamut of new to a little more seasoned performers. So yeah, it really is, and a lot of the teaming up that happens is great too. So it's we can't wait to have you down here and check everything out and see you perform on Sunday, October 1st at the Pink Shell Pool Party with Chris Janson. So, hey, we're going to wrap up now, but I just wanted to thank you again for being you're our second guest. You're the first person who's been a repeat guest on Shellcast. So thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate having Lily on board too. And your song, I'm gonna get this title. Drink
Happy Thoughts.
drink happy thoughts. And it couldn't be more apropos. We need you down here, and we appreciate all of your support, and look forward to having you here again at Island Hopper. And again, I want to thank everybody for being part of Shellcast and listening. And Shellcast, the award-winning podcast of Fort Myers Islands, Beaches, and Neighborhoods, is produced by the Lee County Visitor and Convention Bureau in Fort Myers, Florida. And it's available wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and on Visit Fort Myers, and on our Island Hopper website. And this is Kristian Bush. Thank you so much again for being a part of this preview, and take care in Atlanta. And my name's Jackie Parker. Thank you very much for watching us and for listening, and we'll catch you again next time. Shellcast.